J More, the very best reviews. Tell them none can contest, we gon'
What's good, everybody? Welcome to the show. We about to break down Godfather of Harlem, the second episode for season 4. It's a good episode, really good show. I enjoy it. We see now this season 4, Frank Lucas is getting introduced, and he's actually really young, fresh in town. And in episode 2, we see he really get introduced to Bumpy Johnson. And the way he got introduced to Bumpy Johnson is, well, first we see when he fresh in town, he fall for the old 3-card Monty, and that's when they always had a guy with the card, and they say pick a card, keep your eye on the queen, and they be shuffling the cards, and they see one person there, and they of course lose the money, and they be like, oh man, he lost, I could do this. And then they go, and of course they lose, and they don't make any money. And so he realizes real quick that he just got hustled, because shortly after they went to go and divvy up the profits, Bump, well, not Bumpy John, Frank Lucas, all these names out there, but Frankie, he come around the corner with that blade, and he pretty much let dude know, hey, look here, I'm gonna need that money back. And dude was a little shook. He said, hey, let me, how long it take you to do that card trick? Well, now you're gonna have to learn to do it one-handed. He cut his hand. He wiped the blood on his shirt. He say, I'm Frank Lucas, baby. You ain't know? You better ask somebody. Anyway, it's interesting that they bringing him in, and this is a little different than the American Gangster version, because in American Gangster, we see Frank Lucas beginning his criminal empire after Bumpy dies. And this is showing him when he first got into town. And Bumpy does look old in this. I said that in the first episode review, that Bumpy walking around looking pretty old. He ain't looking too good. And Chin looking pretty good. He done lost weight. He doing pretty good. Forrest Whitaker looking like, instead of Bumpy, he looking like Humpy Johnson in this one. He got a hump in his back. Walking, his back look like it feel like mine. Let me tell you, my back hurt. I can't even lie straight up. Talk about Humpy Johnson. Believe me, I feel your pain. Anyway, we see that he's getting older, and hell, maybe Bumpy may not even last the end of this season, maybe next season. But he's dealing with a lot. He got a lot of stress on his plate. I don't want to sell the Doogie. I'm out of the Doogie business. So Bumpy trying to go clean. He don't want to sell drugs anymore. And what is ending up happening is it's starting to create a problem for his workers. His men don't have the money they used to have. He don't have the power and influence he once had. He's trying to do this little business deal for his people and be black owned, but at the same time, he's not really able to do that because he don't have the muscle and the power of when he had the Doogie business going. And so, hey, he trying to do what he can, but this club and the Geechee Club, it ain't really making the money that the Doogie business was making. And now he got Frank Lucas coming up, sticking up people that was outside of his club, which ain't good. So then they eventually find out who was doing that. But, you know, he got a lot of stress going on in his life right now, Bumpy. And with Chin pressing up on him, he ends up getting with Stella and forming a plan to get rid of Chin Gigante. And she's something else, man. I mean, I wonder if this is real. It doesn't seem real, to be honest. I don't know if his daughter took over the business or what, but anyway, he was telling her when he said, look, I know it was you that set me up to get me out of Harlem. Is this what you want? You're gonna be the boss now. You're gonna have to kill people that you know you love, and not because of anger, you know. And is that what you want? She like, yeah, yeah, pop. Like, whoa, she sure changed a lot. I guess killing her black boyfriend really sent her down the dark path. He was afraid of her on the dark path before. She on the real dark path now. It wasn't the world. Anyway, she put together a plan with Columbo as well as Bumpy, where they gonna rob one of his supply trucks, but they didn't want to keep the stuff. They just wanted him out, and it made him look bad in front of the other bosses. So in the end, the plan worked. He got pushed out. He is too hot tempered. He wanted a war. This man wants blood. We don't want blood. You can have the Doogie. I'm out of the Doogie business. It was some kid named Frank. So, they ended up doing a good way of playing Chin, who, of course, I always like Vincent D'Onofrio as an actor, always does a great job. But it looked like this may be the end for Chin because after everything went south, it looks like Stella gonna be the new boss, and she may not be that easy to deal with. It just seems. Another thing we saw this episode is man, Bumpy's daughter really loves Omar, don't she? She talking about Omar didn't do it. It's a conspiracy, which that is true. It was a conspiracy, but Omar, he was getting it handed to him, and they almost took him out in the pen. And he like, well, I was supposed to protect Malcolm, and I wasn't able to. I deserve it. And Omar, no, you don't, Omar. Omar. And Omar, man, he almost got took out in the pen, man. In his cell, which of course I knew that was coming. It was slowing down the scene, but they show him in the cell by himself, and he's getting ready to do his prayers. And next thing you know, it was about to be lights out, nighty night. And right before they took him out, one of the guards came through and stopped it. They like, if you do that, you're gonna have to answer to Bumper Johnson. And they stopped that right in their tracks. So Bump, he guess she really did get to him, because at first he was hesitant to give any help, thinking that dude did have something to do with it, but I guess he'll do anything for his daughter. Meanwhile, this is boy, these times is something else, man, because they show Bump's wife, Mamie, over here talking to this older bougie white lady, and she talking about what's his name? James Baldwin looked like a chocolate colored frog. He's so cute, looks like a chocolate covered frog. You know him? I mean, like, just so racist, but they'd be the first to say they not. And she couldn't even say anything, had to hold her tongue because she's needing that acceptance to get onto that board, or oh, I forget exactly what she trying to do. That just pissed me off what they was doing. But she couldn't really speak up because then she wouldn't have got where she needed. So she had to accept these demeaning and insulting comments, which was just that was just crazy, man. And to think what people talk about these days or complain about these days, not to say it may not have any validity, but man, in the 60s and 70s, that was still the 60s, but man, they had a lot to be going through and put up with. And man, it wasn't easy. Rashonda, what's up, sis? Big Bird, what's good with you? Yeah, man, I ain't gonna go too long on this Godfather of Harlem tonight. Um, so I appreciate everybody for coming through for the live. I did go live earlier today. It was just a little something different. It was mostly talking about other stuff. So I appreciate everybody that was coming through with me yesterday. I mean, earlier today. It felt like yesterday. Man, it was this one scene where Frank Lucas is in town and he looking for a place to stay. Just before he had that big spot where he ended up having. And man, renting apartment sure has changed. And they didn't do no credit check or none of that, but he told him, hey man, I need that money. I need that 100 deposit and I need that person last month rent. He like, man, you short. He said, you could either pay it or you could get out. You could find a new place. So, hey, it was real simple. Either you pay or you can leave, pretty much. And, hey, Frank ended up getting him a little spot to crash, but I thought, damn, it was housing was a lot simpler then. But we see he ended up getting a spot. He trying to make his way while robbing one of Bumpy's clubs, the Geechee. They end up catching him, chance, because they was like, oh, whoever did this, they probably do it again. They thinking it was Chin, because Bumpy was having the beef with Chin. Then they find him and they thinking maybe he working for Chin. They beat him up, work him over real good. I mean, Frank, hey, he could take a licking, and he was still ticking. So they end up beating him up, bringing him in there. Bumpy want to talk to him, and while they had him there, they keep asking him about Chin, what's going on. He's saying, hey, look here, I know who you are, but I ain't no Chin, Gigante, nobody else. He like, well, if you know who I am, where you waiting for people in front of my spot? You see it's a Geechee Club. He like, I ain't know none of that. They just look like they had something. So they end up not whacking the boy, but keeping an eye on him, realizing, hey, he could be of use, country boy. So what they end up doing is Bumpy, he comes back and later offers him, makes him an offer he can't refuse. Whereas he pretty much gave him the gun and told him, you're gonna have to go ahead and make something happen. I don't want you hurt nobody though. So that's funny. Judah music, you said Bumpy should have got his secret weapon from season what? Bend Frank over. Let's see how tough you are, Frankie boy. Mm, mm. Later had Kanye come in there. Are you my cousin? Because if you is, mm, mm. Are we related? Ooh. Anyway, we see. Hey, that's funny though. Bubby's old boy, big. What they call him, Dexter? Nah, that wasn't it. I forgot. Anyway, it was a good episode. I see all the stuff they had to go through during this stuff, like the racism, the cops and stuff, all the different angles they had to deal with. But at the same time, I think this might have been, of course, they didn't realize it at the time, but it might have been one of the best times to be black in America. I think so, in my opinion. I could be wrong, but it was a lot more unity, togetherness. It's always going to be problems. It's never was perfect for everybody, but I think I think it was a lot more black pride. You can look how everybody, for the most part, carried themselves or dressed in different things. Um, but all of that stuff is superficial, and it's hard to say overall, but I just see a lot of that, like the Geechee Club. I don't see that type of thing. I guess it does happen as black club owners, of course. So I can't say that's not something that happens today, but it just seemed different. I don't know, then. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking through it through this lens of TV and revisionist history. And if you look back on certain stuff far enough, it always look a little better than it may have been, which is true. So anyway, um, we see a lot of things going on this episode. For example, they had the mob, the commission, I didn't know, man. I didn't think Chin was gonna make it out of that meeting. It didn't seem too good. They was pretty silent, and them old mobsters was wanting they drugs and they money more than anything. They ain't worried about a war. So it wasn't looking too good. And in the end, when Chin put his pistol on the table, I'm thinking, oh no, it ain't looking too good for old Chin Gigante over here. But he left with his life at least. And it seems that Stella's gonna have to deal with these guys. Now the thing is, I don't understand how that's gonna happen, considering they normally don't have a woman in this thing of ours, in this thing of ours. So it will be hell. They didn't have a black dude. Yeah, well, Bumpy actually isn't a part of it, but they gave him the utmost respect after he went to jail and didn't snitch on them. So that's why Bumpy had a different level with them than pretty much any other black person before or since, probably. So that was the difference. He had something that could have did to them, and he didn't. So he was a stand-up guy. In the end, like I say, I'm gonna make this a quick one. Frank Lucas, he robs the Connect. They made the deal to give it back. And what did Frank Lucas do? He say, I put some baby powder in there. Put baby powder in there. He clipped about 10 bricks. He didn't clip 10 bricks. He say, Bumpy Johnson gonna have to learn. Don't nobody play Frank Lucas. Frank Lucas, I doubt this part was real because you almost died already. What is you talking about? Now you gonna play with the hangman? So I don't know. I don't think he would have did that move. That was smart, but maybe he did because Chance and them gonna confront him. We see for the next episode, and he said, "Hey, look, I got 10 left. I split it 3 ways. If you forget that you saw me." They like, we could use a little extra money. So that is gonna be interesting to see. I guess this is how he pretty much builds his crew under Frank nose, and maybe this is how he got the people to trust him because he already was moving a little bit. And so they say, hey, I guess we can all make this work because you need a crew and people you can trust. And even if he was getting that connection like they show in the movies and things from Vietnam, I'm not doubting any of that, but you still need that manpower. So being in connected with Bump, having these two be the bridge, so when Bump is gone, they can be there connecting him with new workers, people, supply, all of that stuff, because they know how the H game work in Harlem. He don't. He just got there from North Carolina. North Carolina. He don't know a damn thing. He up here hitting people upside the head with slapsticks. He don't know no game other than the mugging game. So he got balls though. And you can do a lot with balls, especially if you got information. So as he gets more information, more secure in Harlem, he could put them brass cojones to use. And also, in my opinion, I mean, we ain't seen this actor much. I don't remember his face in anything uh that I can remember, but I'll say I like his swag as an actor. He don't look bad as far as maybe pulling off keeping the series going. What if Bumpy don't last the rest of this series and then we see Frank taking over? I'd keep watching to see what Frank do. We'll see. I think that could be a good transition, good segue. But then again, if it's called The Godfather of Harlem, maybe you don't want to keep going with Frank Lucas. Maybe you switch it up. But who knows? Either way, I think it could work. What's good, Stephen Harris? How you doing, my friend? Suburbia Jones Effects. That was a great episode. It was a great episode. I really liked it. And I think it's gonna be fire. A fire show. Well, it is a fire show. We know that, but the fire season, I should say. I'm gonna go ahead and do my Moorescore rating for this episode. So I'm gonna go ahead and break down my rating for what I think this episode should be. All right, the Moorescore, my rating system, real simple. 4 categories, 25 points each. For this episode, visual cinematography, I really liked how they shoot this. Is similar. I guess a lot of these modern shows, if it's in a different era, they kind of make the shows look like that era. And this kind of, it doesn't look like it's in the 60s, but it doesn't look like it's modern, but it doesn't look old. I mean, they're doing a good job with that, as well as all the different scenes where the old boy was in the prison cell praying, and then he got hit with that pig sticker. Bumpy called that knife that that Frank Lucas had a pig sticker. That was the first time I've heard that word since I was in Chicago as a kid. That's what they used to call little knives. So I guess that's old school lingo. It was dying off in my childhood. Pig sticker. Anyway, I give this out of a 25 top score, I give it a 22. I give it a 22. Um, Storyline and plot for this episode. I like this episode and the story. For one, I guess I'm a nerd. I love history, old school history, gangster history, all that stuff. I'm a history buff. And so to see this stuff working out, knowing that this is a real people, maybe not every incident. I just like it. And so seeing the introduction of Frank Lucas, seeing the story of him robbing people fresh out of town, getting roped in, I like it. I'd like to see this story continue. That's why I mentioned I'd see if Bumpy was gone. I'd keep watching if we're gonna watch the Frank Lucas story. So I enjoy it already. With that being said, seeing Stella get her father out. I didn't exactly like that. I don't know if that's accurate. It was interesting. She's a smarty, you little smarty pants. So anyway, I give this a 23 out of 25. Special effects, makeup, costumes. I think they do a good job on the special effects, makeup, costumes. It wasn't a lot of special effects, but they did work over Frank Lucas pretty good. They put on the little cut makeup, but overall, just the way that when you watch this show, never do I ever think that it's not in the 60s. I mean, when I'm watching this, I don't feel like, man, that fake car, or look at that furniture, or look at this or that. No, I be in it. I actually think, how did they do this? Like the streets, the cars, the clothes, the restaurant they go to all the time. When they were sitting in the apartment talking with the white lady, I'm thinking of the furniture, the clothes, everything was in point. She had the black maid and the maid garments and all of that. I mean, they really do a great job on the costume, special effect, makeup production. I'm gonna give it a 25 out of 25, actually, because they do an excellent job with that on this show. Excellent. And entertainment, fun factor. Um, I enjoyed it a lot. I would say not the greatest episode I saw, but on a scale of 20 to 25, I give it a 20. I'd give it a 20. It was good. I enjoyed it. I enjoy seeing the rise of Frank Lucas and what he here for. And overall, it come out to a 90 on the Moorescore, which is a 9 out of 10. Um, I mean, I wasn't expecting that myself, actually, but I would have said at least a 8.5, but a 9 is not bad. It was good. I don't have anything negative about this episode. Um, I think they wrote everything in a good way, put it together. I'm interested to see how it's going to all play out. I'm Frank Lucas is basically undermining Bumpy Johnson's organization from the inside. And in my experience in life, I don't like when people do that. I've had people ruin things from the inside out from me as well. And it's just messed up when people you trust to bring in do that. Now, I'm not saying that he's got malicious intent, but it seems that he said no more Doogie. He out the business, and here he comes bringing his people back in. So, and whoever's giving them the most money is really who they work for. They'll have the loyalty and respect for Bumpy, but if he lacing their pockets fat all the time, ugh, it's gonna be hard to go against him too. And like I say, you can't serve two masters, so that ain't easy. But yeah, man, I give this episode a 9 out of 10. You all let me know, what would you rate this episode? I mean, I didn't see too much going bad with this episode. I hope Chin is not gone, because I like him as an actor, and I think he was doing good. And shoot, he was looking good. Looked like he lost weight, was stronger, and now Bumpy's the one looking bad. And that's also kind of weird to me, because I always remember Forrest Whitaker is still kind of young and vibrant and youthful. To start seeing him looking old and hunched over, I hope this is for the role. I hope it's for the role, because it also kind of make me feel like, dang, I'm getting up there too. So anyway, one of the things I used to always say to myself was, I'm gonna try to take care of myself and be in good shape, and I'm gonna age gracefully and this and that. And then, of course, that didn't work out. So you never know how things work out. It ain't always your choice. Anyway, let me get up out of here, y'all. My back been killing me. I'm turning into Humpy Johnson, my damn self, while I'm talking about old Forrest. Um, I'll see y'all on the next one. Like I say, I'm gonna keep this one shorter than usual. Um, The Last of Us, fire, fire, fire episode. Watch The Last of Us on HBO if you're looking for something to watch. Season 2 has only been 2 episodes, and woo, really good. I think the first season was only 7 or 8 episodes. So looking for something to watch. You ain't seen HBO's The Last of Us? Check that out. With that being said, I'm gonna get up out of here, y'all. I appreciate everybody for coming through earlier as well as now, all the support. You all have a good one. Be safe. Deuces. We out of here.